Principle 1, protect and grow your equity. During my entrepreneurial journey, I didn't always respect the value of equity. Maybe it's my sports background. I always wanted to be surrounded with a team. I start my enterprises and bring on partners with me. Maybe I didn't have enough confidence. Maybe I didn't have the capital needed to start, or I didn't think I had the capital I needed to start the business. Maybe I just wanted to surround myself with friends and business partners so I wasn't alone. But regardless of the reason, I always did. I didn't really truly appreciate that in order to build a business asset that's going to create true wealth and freedom for you and your family, equity is one of the most important essential elements. I'd start a company around 25% ownership, maybe sometimes 33% ownership, and over time, guess what would happen? My equity ownership would go down. Why would it go down? Because I felt we needed to bring on investors. I mean, think about entrepreneurs these days. They brag about, oh, I raised $5 million, I raised $20 million. Well, guess what happens when you raise capital? Your equity percentage goes down. At the time that I got fired from the company I had co-founded after 15 years of building it to north of $50 million, I owned 8% of the company. I had started off already handicapped by bringing on partners to the business and having less than majority share ownership. But over time, as we brought on investors, my equity percentage went down. That is not protecting your equity. Conversely, in the company I built $100 million the right way, the equity percentage went up over time. I still started that way, unfortunately. I still started this way, but as time went on, I had so much confidence in what we were doing and the people I was doing it with that we acquired more equity along the way. We never brought on investors into the business and ultimately ended up with a majority ownership of the company. Two completely different spectrums here. It's critical to understand how to protect and grow not only the percentage of equity you have in the company and the units you own in the company, the shares you own in the company, but also the value of it. To further illustrate this example, I'm going to walk you through two scenarios. Scenario 1, you own 100% of your business. In scenario 2, you own 10% of your business. So two different examples. Now let's say your goal is to build $10 million of net worth through this business asset. Well, in order to get to $10 million, your enterprise value of your business in this scenario would need to be $10 million. In this scenario, however, it would need to be 10x the amount. It would need to be $100 million. And so you look at this, would you rather own 100% of a $10 million business or 10% of a $100 million business? I had this wrong. I glamorized building this large business and, hey, let's grow this business to $100 million. I thought that was the holy grail of entrepreneurship. What I didn't quite realize is to get from 10 million to 100 million, it's not 10x the work. It really, really isn't. It's actually more like 20x or 50x the work. This road from 10 million to 100 million is full of treacherous terrain. You see, if you think about the messy middle is all about trying to build your business ultimately to this pinnacle, but you're in this phase where it's like, oh yeah, we just got this big contract. Oh crap, we just lost our key employee. Oh great, we just built the business further. Oh crap, we just got sued by somebody. It's up and down and up and down, trying to build your business through the messy middle. It's also known as the growth paradox. So if you think about the growth paradox, when your business is out of control like this, so out of control, and you're trying to rein it in, how do most entrepreneurs try and rein in their business in the growth paradox? They're trying to build their business, but they're realizing, oh my gosh, this is getting difficult. Guess what? They say, well, you know what? Let's go get more revenue. More revenue. Because more revenue will solve everything, right? Not quite. Because if you do succeed, let's say your revenue increases, well, guess what happens? More problems. Why do more problems happen when your revenue increases? Because guess what? You got to hire more employees. You need more cash. Growth takes cash, by the way. You may need more systems, more processes, so you enter into more problems. But what if your revenue doesn't increase? So let's say your revenue doesn't increase or stays stagnant. Well, guess what? Your business is still out of control. Nothing actually changed. This is called the growth paradox. So when you think about the growth paradox and the messy middle, which of these businesses would you rather have? Would you rather have the $10 million business that you owned 100% of or a $100 million business that you owned 10% of? The 100% road is a lot less risky, and that's why protecting and growing your own equity is so critical. Beyond the wealth you're trying to create through your equity value, there's another reason to protect your equity. How many times do you see partners going into business together only for it to fail years later and for it to be a big, messy divorce? Partnerships are much like a marriage. Do you go into a relationship and have the proper operating agreements, buy-sell agreements, really the prenup arrangements, so if this doesn't work, you know how to separate? Because believe me, all partnerships ultimately end. It may end well, it may not end well. You got to be prepared for both scenarios. How will this business end ultimately from an exit perspective, and what's the water flow of funds and how that work? But what if it doesn't work? What if the partnership just really isn't working? How are you going to divorce and move on is a critical element to figure out. And most importantly, if the partnership is not working out, to address that conflict quickly and decisively and make a decision. Way too many times we see partners stay in business for long periods of time, 3, 4, 5, 6 years plus. They know the partnership isn't working. They might even be talking to each other anymore, but they feel like they have to stay in that relationship. So you have to address that relationship quick and early. There are also other partnership alternatives. A lot of entrepreneurs, when they bring people into their business after the founding start, they offer them equity way too loosely. They bring on a key employee. I'm going to give you 5%. Oh, come on board, an investor. I'm going to take some chips off the table. I'm going to give you 10%. Thank you. And over time, their equity gets diluted. So does their management control. So does their ability to create wealth through this instrument. There are other ways to provide equity to people joining your business that give them actually hard, real equity shares in the business. And the way that I've found, we'll talk about in a later principle, is phantom equity. How can you provide key team members with an opportunity to participate in the growth value appreciation of your business without actually giving them hard, cold equity? Oh, and one last thing. Never sell your equity unless you're getting 100% out. A lot of times, too many entrepreneurs dilute themselves over time for no good reason other than they just want to take some chips off the table or they want to bring other people into their business. If you're going to sell your equity, sell it. Get 100% out and move on. Don't take a minority stake in your business. That's not worth it. Grow, buy more equity in your business, invest behind yourself. As an entrepreneur, you're either going to invest in yourself and believe in yourself or you won't.